My name is Sterling Tucker. I'm the godly, glorious, gorgeous genius guru, maker of the God Technology Corporation. This is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Save Christ. Almost said Jesus Save Christ. Anyway, and I just wanted to make my DOGE Daily Details. I normally don't make them on Saturday, but I'm making them today because it's really important around the world that human beings understand the species that humans are and respect their rights, because that species is pre-programmed. It's interconnected biologically. It's all pre-programmed. Human is programming. And what's it programmed to do? Protect humanity. And so, and there's no question that humanity, part of humanity includes not having facilities full of human beings that are being eaten and worked. And anyway, I don't need to go into that. It's not funny. It just is so far-fetched to me, because I mean, like, this is a land where we genuinely preach liberty, you know, and first of all, the positions of Congress and all of those were to set up methods and solutions to access and make life easier, to make things accessible for businesses, for citizens, right? The group has no right or power to, or authority to violate life, liberty, or the pursuit of happiness. That's just common sense. It's written right in the beginning. There's 3 unalienable rights, which means people can't vote to violate these. People can't vote to take our plants. People can't vote to take away liberty. People can't vote to ban the pursuit of happiness. Happiness means feeling good. Okay, like, unless most people from here, okay, here, our country has become a very difficult place for the majority of people to be able to survive. It is very difficult financially. Like, the cost of housing is so high. So I live in Utah State. The minimum wage here is $7.50. I've got just a regular house. I've got a manufacturing facility, but I mean, anyway, that's just like a free bonus, basically. I have a huge manufacturing facility. Anyway, on my property, that's where I run my Kratom religion from. Freedom of religion. Anyway, because it's so asinine that while doctors are telling elderly arthritis patients to take ibuprofen, they're telling them to the point of bleeding to death internally. 16,500 arthritis patients in America are killed by ibuprofen and over-the-counter non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, which is basically Aleve and ibuprofen. And name brand ibuprofen, 6,000. And they tried to say that over 5 years, Kratom killed 8 people. It turned out to be total. Anyway, it doesn't matter if it did. But the retard, okay, riding motorcycles killed 5 people today. It doesn't mean go assault people if they own a motorcycle and throw them in a cage. What the? Like, it just is so far-fetched. And so the reason I decided to make this today is because today is the one day I get to see my so-called children. And the reason I say that is because, against my ex-wife's will and my will, for absolutely no justifiable reason, to this day, I am legally banned from calling my son, that is 7 years old, on his birthday to say happy birthday. I was told, because a pocket dial occurred once, and I had a dozen people show up at my house. I had already been unlawfully arrested a week ago. I'd never done anything wrong. After I was arrested, I was like, what on earth did you arrest me for? Anyway, and it was because a lie was made up, and I was already even asked about it, and I've just responded to it, and I was like, absolutely not. That's so demented. Anyway, and that was it. I mean, like, I didn't know that. Anyway, I ended up, like I said, the DOGE Daily Details yesterday, and the reason I give all this information is to show what I, as a human being, have been put through that greatly exceeds the Viktor Frankl story of Nazi Germany. Okay? Viktor Frankl wasn't told that he was going to be attacked with canines. Like, okay, I was put in a cage just like Viktor Frankl and worked and malnourished, and people joked about raping, and anyway, and I'm a smart human, and I was like, you say something like that again and your eyes are gonna get ripped out right now. Anyway, and so it scares the shit out of them, and it should. Human beings, I don't know how humans don't, like, they're getting attacked by a bear and they're like, ah, screaming. I'm like, pull its eyeballs out. Why are you screaming? You know, anyway, it cracks me up. It's just like the animal nature is gone. Which the animal nature is really good. Like, look at nature. Look at all the moms. I mean, and like, as a human, I feel it's that way as a dad. But anyway, that's so-called dad. Because like I said, my son's birthday this year, when he turned 7, I was promised that I would, my front door would be bashed in by SWAT, and they would send in canines to attack me, and I'm like, anyway, because yeah, so like I had a dozen police in front of my house, and I picked it up, like I know their number, like I'm the one that called them originally. I was like, hey, my wife left all of my kids' stuff. There's nothing of theirs taken, and only expensive electronics are taken, and I haven't been able to get a hold for days. Will you please, we talked on the first, will you please do a welfare check? Anyway, and to see if my kids are okay, and if they're not, bring them home. Anyway, I don't need to go into all the details, but a demented lie was made up, and I ended up going to meeting with FBI agent, a retired FBI agent in Salt Lake City, who ironically worked for counterterrorism, because people should understand the definition of terrorism. The World Economic Forum was asked to define terrorism, and they couldn't. I'm like, you're a global group, and you can't define words that second graders can. Anyway, the definition of terrorism is the unlawful use of violence and intimidation against civilians, and in pursuit of political aims, which anything coming out of government is political. That's what political means. Government, political, same thing. It's just a different word for the same thing. So yeah, it's just weird to me, and so I'm petitioning the court, and it's partially my fault. I mean, no, it's not. It's none of it. The fact that against both parents. Well, anyway, it's just, my point is, people need to start communicating about second grade definitions so that everybody can get out the crayons and paper and write down what life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness means, and understand these 3 things are not allowed to be violated. It is a federal prison sentence to violate any of them. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what position. In fact, I saw this funniest YouTube video today. I love this cop so much. He did such a great job. Anyway, he pulls over this lady, going 55 and a 35, and like a school area. And she refuses to pull over. He follows her home, and he's like, why aren't you pulling over, ma'am? And she's like, I'm the DA of something something. which is, I believe, which DA, I don't even know what that stands for, as dumb as that is. Uh, yeah, I would think, anyway, I don't even know. Because DEA is Drug Enforcement Agency. But I don't, anyway, so she thought that because she was that political position, that she was allowed to break the law. And the cop's like, I don't care if you're the DA. He's like, that doesn't give you a right to break the law and go 20 over. And he writes her a ticket. Anyway, it was so good. I love YouTube so much. There's so much good stuff on there. Oh, and then I posted this one on X today. So this guy had to shoot on this guy. Infinitely no question. And when the cop finds out that the guy that almost killed the cop and somebody else, he's holding somebody hostage, I believe. Anyway, I'd have to watch it again. I watched it really quick this morning. That's what I do in the morning. But anyway, and the bird wakes me up today. Go watch those. It's so trippy. I mean, like, it's really weird. 3 days in a row now, I've had a bird knock on my window. Go watch the recordings, because it's just weird. Anyway, okay, so now I kind of forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, our constitutional rights. Yeah, and that's from being plant malnourished, like President Biden does it. We all do it. Everybody does it. I have not seen one person not forget what they're saying. I've seen everybody on X Spaces do it at least once. Anyway, and when President Biden does it, everyone's like, oh my God, it's the end of Alzheimer's. I'm like, you don't ever forget what you're saying, you lying bitch. Sorry, I mean, it's everybody does it. Everybody, literally, like everybody. I've never seen somebody that has anyway. So just because someone forgets what they're talking about when they get side subject, like talk about someone else on a side subject for a second, does not mean that they have Alzheimer's. Anyway, so I'll end this. It's really important that we talk about our constitutional rights and what those means because existence is so sad and difficult and non-productive and non-profitable and non-pleasurable, and everybody wins through having a land that is safe and promotes life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is directly what causes the economy. Okay, life means the humans, liberty means for our ability to choose, and the pursuit of happiness means for us to feel good, and when we feel good, we do good. It's common sense, it's cause and effect. Anyway, so yeah, really important that people talk about those things. They could be fixed like that. Really easy, and we'll have a government program, and it generates trillions of dollars. It will solve all these conflicts between big groups and countries. So please spread it. Super, super, super important. Everyone will benefit. And it could save the world. So spread the gospel at EGOT. Thank you. Love you, Judge Fam.